Lesson 5. Copy, paste and link animations. Welcome to the copy, paste and link animation tutorial for Keyshot. When working with a complex model, it is much easier to copy and paste animation than to individually apply each animation to your scene. In this case, as for the headphones, let's create an exploded view, so I want to have multiple parts moving out. So to start it off, I am going to select one part, right click, and then add a transition to that part. Since it was imported with the original value units, it will only move at 1 mm, so type in a larger value. Also, adjust your time so that you have a little more motion easing as well as extending that animation so that it goes on a little longer. After applying it to that one part, you can also copy that to another part. After selecting one part, you can right-click, copy animation under the animation tab, and then select another part, right-click, and then paste animation. Now you can see that you have two animation in your timeline. What you can also do is copy the animation of the right side of the headphone and right click and paste linked animation to the left side of the headphones. What this will do is it will assign one animation to the second part. You can make multiple parts move only with one or two animations by doing this. This is really handy when you have, for example, all of the screws on the headphones. As you can see in the window, you have the two screws on the left and two screws on the right. Right click and select look at so that it focuses on the screws, and then right click on the screws in the family tree and add transition. You will notice the screws moving out in a random direction. That is because the axis is selected on original local for the y-axis. So try changing the z-axis. You will see the screws move out correctly. And also the band for which we set the transition. You will see the screws also moving out when you press play. As you can see, the band and the screws from the exterior are moving out. This is not visible out here because it's taking too much time to calculate in real time. But you can see the big part, that is the exterior headband, moving out, for which we set the transition. Also adjust the motion easing in and easing out. You can also click on mirror and duplicate these animations so that it can come back to its original position while the mirror animation is being played. Now you can copy that animation and multi-select all the other screws and right click and paste linked animation onto them for the same effect. Now if you go back to the first frame, you can see that the parts and the screws that you worked on will move out in a smooth flow. Because of it being taking a lot of time in real time to be calculated, you clearly would not see the small parts such as screws moving out in this video. That, as I said earlier, Keyshot takes up 100% of the core usage of the computer, and that is why you need high specifications to function the video in real time, the animation in real time. You can extend the timeline for the screws and let them overlap the timeline for the parts, and then multi-select all of them in the timeline and mirror them, which we have already done. Okay, so once you press play, you will see the parts and the screws move out and then move back in since they were mirrored, as I showed you earlier. Copying and pasting animations will save you a lot of time when working with your complex scenes.